Hey there, guys! Welcome to the Boru Podcast. As you can see, that I'm all by myself, and Greg is has been really feeling well. If you have been keeping up with our Facebook page and our Twitter page as well, I've been keeping up the updates, and hopefully that he'll be home. So hopefully by this weekend, because he's been in and out of the hospital for the past 2 months, and so hopefully that he'll be better by this weekend. And I think it's really important for him to, just to stay in the hospital so he can be able to feel better, and cause that's important. And and for me not to worry of what's going on and what's next. And what I really hate is the actual waiting of response, from the doctors and from the nurses. And I feel like, there's like no communication, and it since we're living in Ireland, it's kind of different, and then back in the states, like back in the states, they tell you what's going on. Over here, it just seems like they don't, and I don't know why that is, but it's just something that they you have to ask for it. And I just felt I don't think that they do it intentionally. It's just the way they um, how they run their business, or whichever. But yeah. So as you can see, I'm in a different setting. And so yeah, I mean, let's just hope that um he'll be home this weekend. So like I said, we are in a different setting. I keep jumping from one topic to the other. So but we are. I'm in the bedroom actually, and we're normally in the kitchen to do the podcasts. So and I just think that it's best if I did a podcast right now. And and I was looking through my our Gmail account, and I saw some questions. So I think it'd be great to answer them onto the podcast. So but if you guys want anything for us to talk about, any topics, or you have any concerns, or I don't know, just anything, just drop us a line. You could do it either on Facebook, or you could throw it over on Twitter, or you could send it through what is it, the Brew Podcast at gmail.com. And yeah, which is the email. And so let me see. Uh, this is really boring to me. I so just bear with me, because it's been since I started the podcasting, on my own. I just feel kind of stupid of going in a camera, just myself, rather than have somebody with me. So but let me see here. So questions. I have questions here written down, and we got a question here from Joe, and his question is, "What is your favorite childhood memory?" And I think, going down my my life, I think what stands out the most is when my mother's friend and her daughter, they came over. It's like a tradition sort of thing during Christmas time, and they would come, like, I think it would be around six or seven, have dinner, have some conversations, and until I brought the tree up from the basement or wherever we had it. And the tradition of it is that, not only that is that I would put up the tree, and my mother, she will she will branch out the branches, and make it look like if it was real. And because when this tree, I think it's like it was like I think it's 7 foot high, and so I would put the tree together. My mother would branch them out, and my mom's friend, she would start putting the bulbs on, the Christmas lights, and some tinsel and garland, and but she did with the Christmas balls. She did it in a nice fancy way that you'll have like this cord, and she'll put like the three balls through the cord, and it would be like a red one, a white one, and like a silver one, and she'll put it in a way that and have like a bow behind it, so you have three balls in front of the bow, and then she would actually tie them onto the branch, and it will make it really look pretty, and then at the very last of decorating, that's when she'll do the garland, make it like really nice and really nice and pretty. So, but yeah, and then they would us kids, we would end up staying. Let me see, staying up really late, because they won't be home until like about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So we would be hanging out, talking, all that kind of stuff, and my mother and her friend will be talking, while she decorates, and but yeah, that would be our sort of like tradition, and my childhood memory that really stands out. Um, and I really keep it really close to me, and I kind of miss those times, because of um, she was always there, and when she got older, I mean my mom's friend, when she got older, it I guess she couldn't do it anymore, because each year is another year, and she gets older, and then as she would be decorating, she'll pass out or turn blank, and then she'll revive or something like that. She'll black out or something like that. So, but but yeah, I mean, I really love those. I really like that tradition, and but let's see what else. I mean, it was really fun, because I just thought it was really fun, and it was great to see them, because I always enjoyed their company as well, and but yeah, so that's my favorite childhood memory. Do I have any other childhood memories? I was a very quiet kid. I didn't really do much. Uh, I remember growing up in my teens. I wrote short stories in my bedroom, because I love typing, and I had my own little typewriter, and it was a Panasonic, and they came out with these cassettes, and they're really hard to find, and but luckily with the technology that we have now, we have laptops and all that kind of stuff. So I am pretty much content with my laptop, and it's really more easy rather than like I've always loved typing. I learned it back in the 1990, when I went to this vocational school, for about 8 months or something like that. I can't remember how long it was. They're supposed to have helped you to get a job and all that kind of stuff. So that's when I completed my 12 years of school, and that's where I went is a vocational school, which only lasts for about 8 months or something like that. But let's see what else. Uh, but yeah, it was fun. That's how I learned like the actual keyboard, and because before it was like this. So so anyways, going along with the second question, there's that many questions here, but I'm trying to extend them as much as I can. I don't like short podcasts. I like to extend them to about 40 to an hour. And let me see. Let's see. Here's one from Frank. Did you go to university, and what was your major? I've actually did go to university, which is University of Phoenix online, and I did it online. It was an online course, and I did it for myself. I because I already knew HTML, and what I was going for was the web designing, and let me see. And I completed 2 years, and but there were some uh, what is this some courses that I had to take, to continue with the 2 years, within those 2 years and within the 2 years. And there was like social media. There was JavaScript was really hard for me, and I just couldn't figure it out. And but I mean, I just did my work in class. For me, the most important thing was, and that I learned, was that online, when you answer a question from the professor, uh, they you'll answer it. I think you answer two questions, and you have to participate in other people's questions, or their answers. And I would have to have, I think it's 8 green dots next to my name to be able to, cause that's what it is, and sometimes I think it was a red dot that, or a yellow dot, that it means there was something wrong. So you have to make sure that you have your 8 dots within the week. So what I learned was try to do it from the beginning of the week, and then you have the rest of the week um, free, and also you could be able to do your classes, your term papers, and all that kind of stuff. I had trouble with my term papers, and I don't know why. It's just there was some classes that was kind of fun because of I knew it, and all this kind of stuff. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna pass this course," So, but I let me see. There was some uh, like business. How would I explain it? There was you have to follow through like it's like a comic strip or something like that, and then at the bottom of the page they would have somewhere to type in and what you thought and all that kind of stuff. Or it was interesting. I've but but with it, doing the online classes, it was kind of like I just thought it was different thing. I guess because I was in a shy kind of way, that I didn't really like to go physically in class. I almost did back in Vancouver, Washington, and I went there, and hopefully that I would have gotten into that school. But if I didn't go into that school in Vancouver, Washington, I figured, um, well, let me just try the online courses, because at that time the there was so many people registering, and it was such a nightmare, and I, I, I I didn't lose it, but more like I just got fed up with it, and I just figured just to go on to the path of um, online courses, and that's where I went to University of Phoenix Online, which is a good way to start, and but I did 2 years of which is associate's degree in arts, and but I did find it difficult of JavaScript, and I see people, the other students, they were really into it, and I felt like such a lower class because I didn't know it, and but I just figured that I might as well do, be the try to do the course, try to do the term papers and all that kind of stuff, in JavaScript. And I actually did some extra um, research online, and given me a layout of the JavaScript and what it's meaning and all that kind of stuff. So it gave me like a better understanding. And but I with I would actually get in some feedback from other peers on there, and from their replies to my answers, I just kind of felt like a little stupid because it's just the way they responded to my answer. So, and it was more like, well, they kind of like knew it better, and I mean, you can't just agree. So, what happens is that, okay, you agree at that something, explain to me why you agree with that. So you have to give like a big exclamation, uh, or exclamation, sorry, on why you agree or why you disagree or whichever, but I did find that code for web designing was for me. What at the beginning that I wanted to do was graphic design, and but when I saw like JavaScript, and I just figured that I was gonna learn this, and I know a little bit on it. I don't know it the full understanding, but it gave me like a bit of an understanding of the layout and all that. But I'm more of the HTML coding that really struck me, because I've done HTML since the late '90s, and but but from I've it's I wanted to, from what I found out from a friend of mine on Facebook. He says that the new HTML5 is going to be different codes. So the older codes will probably not work in other browsers, and so it's let me see. I mean, I don't think you'll be saying div anymore. You won't see. Um, I don't know. There's like certain codes that you won't see anymore. I guess it's because it's more upgraded and all that kind of stuff. So, but let me see what else. It's kind of weird. But I was really happy that I done the course. Of the 2 year course, and but it's just what I wanted to do is that I wanted to um, just because I had so much spare time, I wanted to make something of myself. And it's kind of funny because my mother, she thinks that I um, was being forced by Craig, that that he needed me to go back to school. I don't know why she thought about this, but I just thought it was kind of weird and kind of stupid, but but I think that I wanted, I don't know, I think right now is that I may want to go back to school again to get a bachelor's for web designing. I haven't really decided yet, but you know what? When you're in school, um, you just gotta hate when this thing comes out, onto the screen. Um, when I just lost my train of thought. Don't you hate when that happens that you have a lost a train of thought or something? So I've so we're talking about school. We sometimes you procrastinate, and I did that from the very beginning of when I started doing the classes, and I was kind of like procrastinating, and with the of my participating, and I was told, you can't procrastinate. You have to do your work. So I kind of like learned that, and that's where the green dots came. Like I learned in a way that if you get your green dots the first 3 days of the week, at least the rest of the week you could be able to do your essay, not the essays, your term papers and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, but so that's everything. That's for for your answer, Frank. It's. I mean, I am thinking of going to to get back into school again. It's not definite yet, but I sometimes wonder what it would be like, and to actually physically go into the university. Some people find it fun, but I've also see that that if you're okay, you're doing your schoolwork and all that kind of stuff, and then you're meeting your peers and you're having a good time, but I mean, at the end of the day, you have to have your return papers and all that stuff, all submitted and done and all that kind of stuff, before you even go out playing or partying or whatever, that you want to do. I'm like, we're all adults. We're all adults now, and so that's what you need to do. I'm like, I just thought it'd be kind of fun, like when you finish your high school and you're going into college, and you hear all these people, that these wild parties that they go to, and um, they're out drinking, and I just don't know how a person could be able to go out partying and you know get totally drunk and has to go to their classes the next morning. I don't know how someone could do that and still keep um, a clear mind. Rather than on top of that of having a hangover, and I wouldn't be able to concentrate on that. So but yeah, that's all the education on that question. Thanks, Frank. It was that was a long one. That was a long answer. So let's see what else. But let's see. Oh, you know what? Getting back to your question, Frank, is that how that you have like a group where you have to do a certain uh, researching and all that, and the way I see it is that I had that choice online is either go with my other peers to be in a group for uh, a particular um, assignment, and but what I don't like is that I don't want to be responsible if I had an error and people, the other peers in my group would kind of like look down on you or something like that, and so I I had that choice of being in a group or go solo, and that's what I did. I went by myself because if I'm going to make a mistake, it's my fault. I don't want to put the other group down, and because I just don't. It's just me. I just don't. Um, I'd rather do things on my own rather than being in a group setting. So, but let's see. Oh, ba, 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 ba. You ever get that song in your mind and it just doesn't leave you? But let's see. Oh, here's a good one from. Oh my God, I don't know really. I can't pronounce it. I think he's Indian. Amul, Amal, or something like that. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. Uh, what is your favorite moments of Craig? Oh wow. Um, I actually don't want to be emotional about it because there's like so many moments. There is it's just certain things. I become emotional and I'm trying not to be emotional about it. But I think that just seeing him, because he's always talking all the time, and he's a very good listener. He's a very good talker, and I, I mean, he makes me laugh. Even for like the stupidest things. But it's just oh, you know what? Speaking of Craig, I will let him know I'm podcasting. Okay, so now we got that done. What was that question again? Oh, okay, the favorite moments of Craig. Um, but I would try to find things that are kind of like distracting, and it keeps me from being depressed. But I think that the favorite moments of Craig would probably be when he's happy, and that's a lot. For I just I just like seeing him smile. I like seeing him um, laughing and all that kind of good stuff. So but let me see. But I try not to get into the depressing part. Because it's in a dark moment, and I don't want to even go there. But I've let me see. I mean, just like I mean, he'll just come out with certain things, like even if it didn't even make any sense, it would be kind of funny, and but that's just him, and he's always a strong, laughing person, and I guess I'll hold that close to me, and yeah, so but yeah, it's just I think it's good that you need to get that distraction away from you. So that because with the um I don't even know if I'm going off the topic or not. But with the distractions, of keeping yourself being depressed, it's I think it's kind of like a good thing, and I like seeing um seeing him smile, laugh, talk, because it keeps my mind going. It keeps me from being depressed. And but yeah, it's just, I guess it's just one of those things. And oh, wait a minute, this is a two-part question. The second part of the question is, what are your plans for the future? Um, I mean, it's really, I think it's really nice of you guys, to be able to, see us as a couple, because we are a couple. We got married last January, so and that was a fun time because we actually got married right inside our apartment, and it was fun. And so with our what we see ourselves in the future, would what I would like to see is see with our housing. I want to get a house eventually, and I get a car eventually, and I'm sure that will happen in time. But the plans right now is that like right now we are in a private landlord apartment, which is being managed by a leasing agent, and we are on a waiting list for council housing. And so when you're on a waiting list on a council housing, it takes about 2 years approximately, and they pay. Or let me see how this goes. Uh, so the waiting list is approximately around 2 years, or something like that, and what they do is that they pay a portion of. From what I understand, is that they pay a portion like every 10 years or something like that, and then the house is yours. And but say that we die with before all the payments for this house, it goes straight back to the council housing. This is what I'm understanding here in Ireland, and but after we get our council house, which we have three, uh, what is it, three places that where we want to go and have the house there, and Letterkenny's one of them, and we haven't decided what the other two are going to be, but the more there is, once all three are filled, the better chance of us, getting the house sooner. I think, and you can't, you could turn down it once, but once you turn down the second time, you're off the list, and you're gonna have to start the whole council housing process over again, and that could be another 2 years. So we're just thinking about what we could do with the other two areas where we want to go to, and once we get that house sorted out, at the moment I am filling out some applications. One is for so I could get a free bus pass, and which Craig has as well, but I could be able to go with him with his bus pass because as a spouse, and let's see what else. Um, but if I would have went on my own, I would have to pay for the full price for that bus fare. So I think it's best if I get my free travel scheme form filled out, get it submitted, and all that kind of good stuff. So, but let me see what else. And then also, we're still waiting for his disability form to be filled out, sent, and when that comes back, I could be able to apply for the carer form position, which means I'll be taking care of Craig because he has mobility issues. and I'll be getting paid for that. So that would be good. So that would be a good start. And I don't know if it's the same as in Northern Ireland because you get a choice of the government giving you a brand new car because of the disability, or and you get one or the other. You get the car or you get the money. And I think here in the Republic of Ireland, where we are at, it's a little different, and I don't know how that goes about. So, but it's more to look into. So I'm going to be doing that pretty soon. So we're going to be doing that sometime this weekend, filling out all the forms and stuff like that. And so once everything's like all kind of like put together, I guess we'll just um, go where life leads us. I guess we do want to get a couple of cats. We had cats back in the United States, and we had to leave them behind. And I still think about them. Um, I try not to get emotional about it because I'm very close with cats. And actually, I don't know if you guys saw in the beginning. No, maybe you didn't. Because there was a black cat here, and the neighbor's cat, goes house to house and stays and hangs out or whatever. But yeah, I mean we're just letting life go as it is, and I'm just hoping that it just falls into place nicely. I don't see myself wanting to live in Letterkenny. It's just I would like to see somewhere else. Um, I don't know, maybe somewhere suburban or something like that, outside of the town. But with that, you need the vehicle. So that's why I need that vehicle to be able to get around. And also, it'll give me that opportunity to take the car and drive in and out into Derry, because in Derry is where my family's at, and it'll be nice to see them. So yeah. So that was that two-part question. Let me see here. What do you do if you are in love with someone and they don't love you back? Well, that's a hard one, Jeffrey. And um, let me see. I think it's okay to like someone, but you don't want to make it known that you're a stalker or something like that. It's okay for them. Um, you might like them a lot, but uh, they may not like you, but only as a friend, and that's okay. That's okay for them. Them to feel that way. I mean, you may just as time passes by, you'll figure out that he's not the only fish in the sea, or she's not the only fish in the sea, and it's just part of life, and it's something that you have to accept. You can't push to someone, to fall in love with you, but because that would be wrong. You're pushing it, and it's not the way to go. And I mean, I think that in other aspects that you will find somebody that will like you as well as you liking them, to that would respect you for who you are, and for what you do, or whichever. And let me see what else. It's actually a difficult topic, but let me see. there was a couple of incidents, or not incidents, moments that I really liked somebody, and they they weren't really into me, and it's kind of like you like you're being let down, and you feel down and neglected and all that kind of stuff. But the good thing is that that you will get better, and you will find that somebody that will like you and all that kind of stuff. And but let me see if there's any more questions here. Oh, and that question was from Carl. And was it Carl? Oh, it is Carl. I thought it was somebody else. Um, yeah, but it's just one of those things that it's a part of life, and you just have to accept that they don't like you. Hey, it's just, I don't have this perfect answer, but from my experience, I just took it as I really like this person. I like to talk to them and all that kind of stuff. So, and there was one person that at that time, this was back in the '90s. I lived in Derry back then, in the '90s for 9 years, and I met somebody online, and ended up really liking him, and he lived in Arizona, and before I knew it, once I left Ireland to go to the States, I I think it was like about a year later, after I arrived back in the States, that my mother and her husband are going over to Arizona to move, and that I got in contact with him. Hey, listen, I'm going to be moving over to Arizona, and he kind of like brushed me off in a way that well, don't move on my terms. So it was kind of I felt bad. I don't know. I felt I having these like weird stuff. Like that I I was hoping for him to feel the same as me, but I thought I would be happy. But he was more like, well, don't come on my terms, or whatever. And I had to let him know, no, I'm going with my parents. They're moving there, and but I ended up not seeing him, and it just eventually kind of like brushed off, and I just moved on. I then met somebody, uh, and I had some bad relations back in Arizona. I had about four bad relationships or something like that, and it's just. But there was one that I really liked, and it was more like, and he liked me, but it was kind of like, um, I mean, we could have gotten serious about it, but it was just more like we just enjoyed each other's company, you see, and that was important, and but then he was kind of like sad when I told him that I was leaving, to go up north, to be with Craig, and but yeah, but anyways, that's all the questions there is, and we're going on to the 45-minute mark, and I don't know. What do you guys think? Did I do good? But anyways, I am going to let you guys go, and I want to be able to do a couple of things around here before I head to bed, because it's 11:30, and I want to do a couple of things here before I head into bed. Okay, so you guys take care, and I'll keep you guys updated on what's been going on with Craig, and hopefully in the next podcast he'll be with us. Okay, so you guys take care and have a great week.